Yo, check it out. It's your boy LC, guys. Welcome to another episode of Villains Collectibles. So, all right, let's not waste no time. Let's jump into some of these reactions. We're gonna do the reaction to I'm really excited for Resident Evil. Man, I hope this is gonna be I hope it's crazy. Let's go check it out. Trailer stream. Here we go. All right, guys, let's do this.
Hello? I had a little bit of a problem on the road. I was wondering if I could use your phone. Hello?
Yes, we're sorry.
Hey babe, look, I'm really sorry that we got disconnected earlier, but some things have happened. I'm in like a seriously messed up situation right now. And it looks like there's a chance that we might not get to talk to each other again. I just wanted you to know. I love you.
Oh, snap. Yo, real quick, I'm gonna have to watch that again. I'm gonna have to watch that. Yo, did you see? And I could be wrong. When he's on the phone, you can see there's a plant, like a herb. It was like a urn with like a green flower. Remember in Resident Evil game, that's the health. You gotta get the herb. So I'm gonna watch it again. But when he's like on the phone on the floor and it pans out, you can see like a urn, like a flower. And yeah, we gotta check it out again. And then after this, we're gonna check out the interview. But oh my god, that was crazy. A little disappointed that I don't have the main characters, like Leon or Jill or Chris Redfield, you know what I mean, or Claire. But I'm sure you could bring those guys on a sequel. You know what I'm saying? But oh my, yo, that was crazy. Who is that big bald? Was that like the baby? Remember, like, or the that Dutch? Well, no, that dude was naked. I don't know. That looked crazy. Let's check it out one more time. One more time, yo.
Hello? I had a little bit of a problem on the road. I was wondering if I could use your phone. Hello?
Yes, we're sorry.
Hey babe, look, I'm really sorry that we got disconnected earlier, but some things have happened. I'm in like a seriously messed up situation right now. And it looks like there's a chance that we might not get to talk to each other again. just wanted you to know.
I love you.
Oh my god, yo, I'm watching this trailer for the second time, trying to catch like more Easter eggs. Yo, okay. Typical Resident Evil, right? You find a gun, no bullets. When he finds the shotgun, no bullets. Another thing I caught, when the trailer starts and then you see it at the end, he has the medical kit. You know, in Resident Evil, you gotta try to find the medical kit for when you get injured, you heal yourself. I love that. When the trailer starts, you see him with a handgun. I noticed that. Then we see him find the shotgun, no bullets, just like Resident Evil games, right? Then we see him with a machine gun. So it's like, okay, you're upgrading. You like when you find it, you always start with the gun, then you find like a shotgun, then you find like an AR. You know what I mean? That was cool. The second time watching it, yeah, that was like a flower pot with like a green herb. I did catch it now again the second time. But yo, that was dope. Let's go ahead and find out now what I want to do. Guys, let me know your thoughts on this Resident Evil trailer. I want to play now the interview that Zach did, the director, when it comes to the Resident Evil movie. So yo, let's check out his interview. That's it. Let's not waste no time. Let's check out his interview, his thoughts while he was making this movie. Here we go.
This is for sure, bar none, my most visually gonzo movie. All right, I'm Zach Kreger. This is the teaser for Resident Evil, which is coming out September 18th. Okay, so basically, my rule for this movie was to just try and make a movie that felt like my experience of playing the games, that could live in the world of Resident Evil. So this, I feel like this movie takes place alongside the events of Resident Evil 2. I like to think that, everything that's going on in the police station could be happening in this world. This is just another dude on another mission on the other side of town, and like what's going on with him.
That's what I'm talking about. I love to hear that. Resident Evil 2, we had Leon. So we might still get Leon. We had what? Resident Evil 2 with Leon and Jill, if I'm not mistaken. So I love that he said that. Because they're canon, they're just in another part of town. That gives me hope. Resident Evil, and he's talking about Resident Evil 2, the video game. So that is right there is amazing. I'm happy to hear that. He's making it canon with the game. Let's continue.
So yeah, I mean, it's not canon in that I'm not using the characters, but it's canon in that it lives in the actual, day of reckoning and Raccoon City. So he, this movie follows the characters. He's outside of Raccoon City. He's got to get into the center of it, and we're kind of with him as he goes through this gauntlet of set pieces. He gets deeper and deeper into town, and so what I love about the games is that every set piece brings with it unique new horrors. And so I wanted the rhythm to feel like it was always changing, it was always shifting. You were always facing increasingly bigger dangers, and you had to be aware of resource management and health and things like that. So I really did use a lot of cues from the games on how to build this thing out. And so yeah, it's a love letter to the games, which I fully obsessively love. All right, so one of the things that I love about Resident Evil is the graduation from gun to gun to gun. So you can see in the first shot here, he's got a pistol. That's the first weapon that he acquires. As he progresses, he'll graduate to the shotgun, and then ultimately he'll get an MP5. That's one of the fun things about playing these games is whenever you get the new weapon, you're like, oh, fucking thank God. Thank God. And so his character kind of has that reaction as he does it. A lot of this movie is like third person, so there's a steady cam following Austin, our actor, and and it was really a dance between him and our camera operator. So, you know, when I had a really wide lens and we're kind of over his shoulder. And so when he looks left, we like pivot around to look left. And when he looks right, we swing around and look right. So I really tried to incorporate just the visual language of the games into the movie. There's also, you know, a fair amount of first person shooter stuff in this movie that is, you know, the games utilize sometimes. But really just like you're behind the character, and when they look right, you look right. When they look up, you look up, and just letting that be the most common visual language of the movie, I should say, is very much from the games. This is for sure, bar none, my most visually gonzo movie. By far. Think about how I like to play Resident Evil, especially the first time I play one of the games. I like to go really slow through the world and just kind of drink it in and try and immerse myself. You know, I'm pretending I'm there, like we all probably do when we play games. So you know, Austin is our main character, Brian, I should say. He's moving slowly through this world. So you know, if you've seen any of my other movies, you know I like to kind of like creep through these dreadful spaces, and Resident Evil is like the perfect playground for a guy like me who likes to just, you know, really take his time turning down a hallway, opening a door, you know, and waiting for that Jack in the Box moment. And so you know, that's kind of what Austin's doing here, as he finds this abandoned farmhouse. I was a massive fan of Austin after working on Weapons, and I'm a bigger fan of him after making Resident Evil with him. He's so fascinating. He's the perfect avatar for the viewer. And what I wanted to do a Resident Evil movie where you're not following a badass with military training. You're following your average gamer like me. Like if I was thrust into a Resident Evil game, I would be terrified and I would be missing 95% of the shots I took. I would have to learn the guns as I go, because I've played with an MP5, you know, for however many thousands of hours playing video games. But if I have one in my hand, I'm like, where's the safety? How does this work? And so I think it's just kind of fun to be following somebody with no combat experience whatsoever as they're, you know, walking through hell with a machine gun. What he's carrying is important, and he doesn't know the whole picture when he accepts the job of what he's been tasked with. And Austin is just kind of this like perfect, very lovable, but by no means badass guy. And his reactions to the horrors is just, I love it. I love it.
And it looks like there's a chance that we might not get to talk to each other again.
I just really love the idea of like you're moving through a sewer, you have no idea what's in front of you, and you come around a corner and you see a gigantic, obese, naked, hairless man just sitting facing you. It's like, to me, it's just like what is about to go down. I like the question there, and what does go down, I am also pretty happy with. Honestly, it's like part of the inspiration for the look of this guy comes from the book Blood Meridian. There's a character called the Judge in that book who's described as like a 7 foot tall, you know, maybe albino, hairless man, and I love the image of that guy. And so this is just my little nod to one of my favorite books of all time. And it's like I don't have a nemesis in this movie, you know, that the games use, which is like this gigantic hulking, you know, Terminator that's following you. But this is also like a little bit of a nod to the nemesis. I don't want to give too much away of whatever it is that's coming out of the door, but I will say that there's a mechanic that I've put into this movie that is, it might be in some of the games, and I just can't remember it being in some of the games, but basically it's a way the infected interact with each other, and it's something that kind of pursues him throughout the movie. And so I don't want to say too much, but I'm really excited for how this specific creature, for lack of a better term, how it changes and how it evolves over the course of the film is really fun. Believe it or not, this movie doesn't utilize zombies that much. It's much more focused on like the weird creature stuff than the zombies. There's really only 2 scenes, maybe 3 actually, now that I think about it, where there's like proper zombie stuff going on, and 2 of those 3 are in this trailer. There's this one right here, and then there's the one where he's running through the city streets and zombies are like detonating around him. But other than that, I wouldn't call this like a zombie movie necessarily. I just feel like you have this opportunity for the T virus to do all these really fascinating things to the human body and to the world around you, and so to just limit it to zombies feels like a squandered opportunity. So I tried to really vary it up.
Some things have happened.
Okay, great. So I'm glad you picked on the drawers and the empty shotgun, because one of the things that like is so integral to playing Resident Evil is you're constantly searching for healing items and ammunition, right? And that's what he's doing in these scenes where he's going through the drawers. He's found a shotgun, he's got no shells, he's got to find the shells, so he's got to like comb this house for these like vital, bits of ammunition. And so you can't really do a proper, love letter to the games without that. And so I've also hidden some, I think you can see one in this trailer maybe. There's a plant, camera screen left over his right shoulder. You can kind of see it. In the movie, the shot pulls back farther and you can see it. But I took the green herb from Resident Evil 4 and I replicated the bucket exactly. You can see the bucket there at the very end of that shot with the horizontal copper striping on it, and the herb is like exact for the Resident Evil 4 thing, which is probably the game I've played the most out of this series is 4. Even though this probably lives in the world of 2, I just wanted to use a little bit of 4 in here, just because it's my favorite. And I also have some other items from 4 that are kind of scattered around in this movie that people will notice. As much as 4 is the game I've played the most, I don't think it's very scary. 4 does not do nearly as much atmospheric heavy lifting as later games do. I mean, for me, the scariest moment of any Resident Evil game is in 8 when you're being pursued by the giant baby in the dark of that the basement. So some of the games after 4, I think, actually do a better job of building dread and suspense and terror. But the reason that I keep coming back to 4 is because the world is so big, the game is so huge, the mechanics are fantastic, and it does lean a little bit more action than some of the more horror-centric ones. But I don't know. I find it so relentlessly playable. I'm always interested in how it kind of goes from location to location to location, and you got to go through. At some point you're on a boat, and then you're on like a Indiana Jones Temple of Doom kind of mine cart thing going around. There's there's so much to do in that game, and I think that's something that I really dug about 4, is that you're not just trapped in one mansion and you've got to unlock a room and then go here and then unlock another room. You're moving through a world. And so that's something that I really took from that game in particular. And one of the other things that is in this movie that comes directly from the games is the need for keys and for padlocks being barriers. If you've ever played one of these games, you know that you always come to a locked door and you don't have what you need to get to the other side, and you have to go through hell to get the key to get out of here. And so that happens, I'd say, about 4 times over the course of this movie, where he's like, what is with all the fucking padlocks, man? Anyone who's played the games will recognize exactly, what I'm doing.
I had a little bit of a problem on the road. I was wondering if I could use your phone.
It takes place almost in real time, but not really. There's a lot of time jumps, but yeah, it takes place over the course of one evening. I'm sort of existing just adjacent to it, because I'm not obsessed with the timeline. For me, it's like this is the first night that the T virus has broken out, and in this movie, it is like started in Raccoon City, and he's got to go straight into the eye of the storm, and so that's the deal. So I believe that when Leon arrives at the police station, that's still kind of like day 0, right, where shit's freshly gone wrong. So that's the timeline. Now I know that Raccoon City gets nuked, and I'm a little fuzzy on the timeline of when the nuke drops versus the day Leon sets foot in the police station. That nuking doesn't happen in this movie, which is why I'm not totally like brushed up on all that stuff. So yeah, this exists in like day 1 Raccoon City. Shit just went south. I was very, very fortunate to have a studio and a production company that really supported me and never got in the way of, well, you know, we got to make sure we're doing X, Y, or Z. Like I was given nothing but support, and so I know there's all kinds of horror stories you hear about filmmakers dabbling with IP and running into all sorts of frustrations, but I truly didn't have that.
I'm in like a seriously messed up situation right now.
Oh man, yo, yo, he actually confirmed some things that I exactly what I thought. But hey, only if you're a huge Resident Evil fan, you will also catch some of those things. Excited. I'm excited about that. I'm happy to hear that it literally takes place like between Resident Evil 2, the video game. He tried to make a canon with it. Once again, that leaves hope that in the sequel we will get the heroes that we know, Chris Redfield or Leon or Jill or Claire. You know what I'm saying? So I'm happy to hear that. I am happy to hear that, yo. Okay, so I appreciate each and every one of you guys. This was dope. This was awesome. This has been another episode of Heroes and Villains Collectibles. I'm your boy, LC. Till next time, guys. Peace.